There have been thousands of people throughout history who claim to be able to see into the future. Some may have been more believable than others, but still you can't help but wonder if their dystopian predictions really will actually come true. Welcome back, most amazing friends. I am Kennedy, and with that said, let's dive into part 2 of some more of the scariest predictions for 2023, shall we? Starting us off at number 10 is an alien invasion. So if the seers of our world are to be believed, then 2023 is in store for some pretty wild stuff. In fact, according to the famous blind seer Baba Vanga, it's not just typical human wars that we should be worried about this year, but the invasion of an evil alien species as well. Now, there are many different conspiracy theories surrounding the existence of aliens to begin with. Among believers, some think they are harmless, while others think they are dangerous, and there's even a third sort of faction that suggests there is obviously more than one race of aliens, so both dangerous and peaceful, could exist in our universe. Putting aside the theories surrounding if aliens are dangerous or not, according to Baba Vanga, this year we will be invaded by a race of bloodthirsty monsters that will tragically result in the end of humankind. If that's all true, it would mean that 2023 would be the last year that we all have here, as again, she predicts that aliens will wipe out the human race and take over planet Earth. I mean, there's very little I can use to verify the validity of this statement, but you can sure hope I'm praying it's not true, cause well, I don't want to die. All that being said, if the conspiracy of alien existence is true, would the government know about their impending arrival and be preparing for such a disaster? I mean, I just have some questions. Let's hope this one misses the mark and does not come true. Next up at number 9 is a major cosmic event. Another modern day self-proclaimed seer had something to add to the 2023 prediction list. Craig Hamilton Parker, a British seer who has been nicknamed the Prophet of Doom, says he had a vision of a major cosmic event that will take place in our solar system sometime during the year 2023. Quote, "I have a feeling of something like a very huge solar flare, and I feel this would be significant, whether that reaches the Earth or whether it affects all of our technology or something like that." He then went on to clarify, quote, "I can't explain exactly what it is. You know, I can't see everything. I see parts of things. I get feelings of things." Of course, he isn't the only prophet to foresee some kind of solar problem causing technological breakdown in the year 2023. In fact, Baba Vanga had a similar foresight. I guess that makes me wonder, does two people with similar visions indicate it's super strong prediction, or does it make it less plausible? I have no idea. I'm just thinking out loud. Let's just hope that nothing world-ending actually comes true. Next up at number 8 is the Antichrist. Among the many other foresights predicted for the year of 2023, one I did not have on my bingo card is the return of the Antichrist. Well, according to Athos Salome, a modern psychic who some are even calling the living Nostradamus, says he has seen that the year 2023 will bring forth, quote, "beginning of the end," and that the Antichrist will rise once more. Athos specified that he had a vision prior to the new year that showed the enemy of the Messiah wreaking havoc on Earth between 2023 to 2026, and that we're in store for some dark evil in the next 3 years. He goes on to explain that the Antichrist is not necessarily just one person, but rather an entity with an ability to pervade into multiple people or places. Truthfully, this is one of the more vague predictions on the list. He doesn't go into much detail about where it come from, just that it, quote, "won't come from Europe, contrary to popular belief." I was unaware that was the common belief up until this point. I guess my biggest question is, how will we know what is the work of the Antichrist? Listen, I'm not saying he's lying, I'm just saying I have some follow-up questions. Also, I just really hope it's not true, because I'm not too keen on the Antichrist roaming the planet for the next 3 years. It's been dark enough lately. I'm not really looking for things to get worse. Coming in at number 7 is a war against the wealthy. If you have been on the internet lately, you've probably come across many people joking about eating the rich. Of course, this doesn't refer to physically doing so, at least I hope it doesn't, but rather the lower class wanting to take down the ludicrously rich and powerful. This isn't anything new. There have been many revolutions throughout history that involved plebeians storming the gates of kings and overthrowing their rule. Remember the French Revolution? Well, according to everyone's famous psychic Nostradamus, the year year 2023 could bring forward another revolution of the sorts. As he predicts, quote, "Sooner than later you will see great changes made, dreadful horrors and vengeance. The trumpet shakes with great discord, an agreement broken, lifting the face to heaven, the bloody mouth will swim with blood, the face anointed with milk and honey lies on the ground." There are definitely a few factors that make this kind of believable. I mean, we're dealing with a huge cost of living crisis, climate crisis, mental health crisis, and an uptick in people living without homes. And I think overall, there are a lot of people looking for a new way of formulating the world we live in. That being said, a full-on revolution involving war and people's lives should not be taken lightly, and would absolutely be a very scary reality if it did really come true. Next up at number 6 is Rise of the Robots. Feels like every time I turn around, technology is becoming more and more advanced. In a lot of ways, this is helpful, for sure. But at the same time, I have seen far too many movies where robots take over the world, so I always get a little freaked out once I see AI involved in any kind of powerful capacity. Like, has anyone else seen that robot that was created by the Atlas team at Boston Dynamics that can literally do parkour? Like, what if it gets smart enough to change its programming and turn against you? There's no beating a parkour robot. Essentially, the prediction for 2023 is that AI is going to become so enmeshed with our way of living that the need for human input will become virtually extinct. Humans will start losing their jobs to AI, and not just things like the minimum wage jobs where we already have seen a massive rise in machinery taking over. I'm talking like financial advisors or doctors, meaning an AI could be in charge of your financial decisions or even make life or death decisions for you. To me, this just sounds like we're asking for trouble. Robots or AI being in charge of such important things seems to me like a recipe for a dystopian disaster. Call me crazy, but being chased by a parkour robot is just not the fantasy for 2023. Coming in at number 5, climate crisis takeover. Not to get too depressing, but if there was one thing on the list that is actually backed up by the most facts, it would be this one. I mean, we have data showing the rise of sea levels from melting ice caps, the overall average rise in temperatures over the years, rise of greenhouse gases, and so on. I say all of this not to be a buzzkill, but to point out that experts already know our planet is in trouble, and so that just makes Nostradamus' prediction all the more eerie. As the seer put it, quote, "The dry land will dry up even more, and there will be great floods when you see the rainbow." The rainbow refers to another prediction he has made, where he said the world wouldn't see a rainbow for 40 years, or something like that, and so seeing one would be a clue that the impending Earth doom was upon us. Now, the good news is that rainbows have not disappeared in the last 40 years, so if he was wrong on that one, hopefully he's wrong on this one too. Coming in at number 4 is the end of the Vatican. While the Vatican was only declared its own independent state less than 100 years ago, papacy and the Catholic Church date back as far as the 7th century. I mean, I can't really name many things that have existed as a tradition throughout time for that long. However, shockingly, according to the one and only Nostradamus, 2023 might just be the downfall of papacy and the Vatican entirely, which would be wild. Apparently, as it was foretold, in the year 2023, the current pope will resign and he will be the last true pope. His replacement, who will be named Peter, will create or be a part of a scandal that is so shameful to the church and papacy that it will bring down the entire Roman Catholic Church. Quote, "In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will be Peter the Roman, who will feed his flock amid many tribulations, after which the seven-hilled city will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people." The end. Now, it's no secret that the Vatican has been involved in a few scandals, to put it lightly, many of which would have ended the career of just about anything or anyone else in the world. So what else could they be involved in that would finally be the last straw? I suppose we will just have to wait and see if it comes true or not. Next up at number 3 is the extinction of all fish. Kind of piggybacking on his own prediction of a climate crisis imploding our Earth in the year 2023, Nostradamus also foresees that that this year the planet Earth will sadly see the extinction of all fish across the globe. His prediction states, quote, "Like the sun, the head shall sear the shining sea. The Black Sea's living fish shall all but boil." Essentially, it sounds like he predicts that due to the increase in temperature, the fish in the sea will cook to death. I mean, not only would that be tragic for obvious reasons, like the extinction of an entire species, but it would also cause a huge issue in regards to global food sources. According to the World Wildlife Foundation, 3 billion people worldwide rely on fish and other seafood as their main source of protein, so the consequences of this would be astronomical. Plus, on a less serious note, the entire planet would smell like dead fish, which, I mean, I don't even know how to fathom how rank that would be. Let's just cross our fingers Nostradamus was off with this one. Coming in at number 2, a civil war. So if you remember from part 1 of this series, one of the things Nostradamus predicted was World War III. And apparently this isn't the only conflict that our world might come face to face with this year. If Nostradamus is correct, in 2023, the United States will also be facing another civil war. However, unlike their previous civil war during 1861 to 1865 that fought to end slavery among other tensions of the time, in 2023 it will be a political war between Democrats and Republicans. This prediction first appears in his 1555 novel, and he hasn't been the only seer to predict it. That being said, however, he's probably the most well-known psychic historically, so this foresight is most commonly attached to his name. Nostradamus was not clear on what the exact cause of the 2023 Civil War will be, but he does say that it will last for an extended period of time and that it will be very violent. Honestly, the last thing I want is another war, but there is definitely some tension between political parties in the states, so I mean, who knows. I just hope that whatever comes up can be worked through without bloodshed. And last up today in our number 1 spot is an inflation zombie apocalypse. By the end of this year, inflation is supposed to get so bad that humans will begin eating the flesh of others just to survive. As the 15th century seer put it, quote, "So high will a bushel of wheat rise that man will be eating his fellow man." And I mean, I don't know about you, but with the price of groceries these days, he may be onto something. Okay, but being serious, there actually have been pockets of history where this exact same tragedy happened. The Leningrad famine, for example, was a very dark time with a rise in poverty and an extreme shortage of food, and people were being arrested for eating other humans. It goes without saying that this would be a nightmare, so let's just hope that he had this one wrong, because I'm not looking to make The Walking Dead a reality at any point in time. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.